This week on r/Just No Mill.
I have crippling depression.
Stay till the end to find out what happens when my baby offensive. A weird thing has happened. So COVID-19 has brought out a weird twist which I'm going to call a win. So one of the first things I noticed 5 years ago was JNFMIL controlling. She has to have everything done her way or there is hell to pay. This ranges from how you chop vegetables to how FDH might want to dress or do his hair. FDH said that she wasn't always like that. As a child he was just spoiled and doted upon and loved, so she just wanted to do things for him. I honestly smell bullshit. But hey, I wasn't there. 3 days ago, JNFMIL rings and I leave the room as per our arrangement. After about 1.5 hours he comes to me and says, "I know you don't want to know anything about my mum, but you might want to hear this." He tells me she has been really struggling with lockdown and the food and supplies shortages. She has apparently been having meltdowns in supermarkets because she cannot get the brands she wants and has been forced to make different choices. She took this to her therapist and he asked her about her control issues. She admitted to having OCD tendencies and needing to have things a certain way. He then asked about her relationship with my fiancé. He asked her if she might have stunted my fiancé's growth and confidence because of controlling him and shouting at him for not getting anything right by her standards. He was never allowed to choose his own clothes, cook food the way he wanted, and she would call him lazy and tell him he lacks initiative. Well, what child wouldn't just stop trying in the face of constant micromanagement, aggression and telling off for doing everything wrong? She asked him and he said, "Yes, you absolutely did ruin my confidence and stunt my growth." And she apologized. She actually apologized for her shitty behavior his whole life. He also said, "What's more, when I moved in with Sword to Flamethrower, I would constantly ask her if what I was doing was correct and she would be confused and say, 'Do it how you like to, darling,' so I realized how controlling you were." And she freaking apologized. This is massive. Now she just has to change her behavior ongoing. That's the real test. Just thought I would share. She has a long way to go and I don't know if I can ever have her in my life, but I am happy for FDH.
Are you mad, bro? Tell me what you're mad for.
Mother-in-law is mad she's never felt my son move.
Be gone!
So, I moved in with my boyfriend and his family in September and found out I was pregnant about 2 weeks later. His mother is obsessed with the baby and seems to believe it's hers. Refers to him as her baby, rubbing her stomach when talking about him. She even thanked me for buying baby clothes once after snatching them from my hands and laying them on her stomach while stroking them and cooing. Super freaking weird and creepy. I am 34 weeks now and she's never felt him move. She tries to feel at least once a week and has even commanded I call for her every time he moves so she can feel it. Which is extremely stupid and I will definitely not do that, ever. I think he's picked up on how irritated she makes me, because he will not move at all when she's in the same room. He's a very, very active baby, but anytime she's near me, he won't move. Even if he gets the hiccups when she's around, they are so soft I barely even feel them myself. It makes me laugh honestly cause it seems like he's got the mindset of frick you, you're mean to mommy so you don't get to feel me move. I'm sure she'll be so happy when I have the baby and ban everyone from entering the room for the first month he's here. I'll be sure to keep the door locked 24/7. My baby, my bonding time, my rules.
Catch me outside, how about that?
Mother-in-law and I exchange blows.
Catch me outside, how about that?
TW. Brief mention of child abuse. This shit got brought up on a Zoom call today and caused an argument between me and So. That conversation is for the other sub, but I figured you lovely folks might enjoy this tea. My mill has always called me little girl, which was whatever when I was 12. 13 years old. However, it is not okay now, a little over a decade later. I am a grown-ass woman with a salary job and a 401k, and I know she just calls me that as part of her power play. It's even to the point where I'll have her on speaker around my friends and they'll grimace at me and mouth little girl. It's just one of the many microaggressions she likes to lob in my face. So gives her a pass, because he swears it's just a term of endearment. But when she calls him little boy he loses his shit. Yeah right. So back in January, So and I were doing holiday things with his family and she called me little girl for the umpteenth millionth time. I looked at her, laughed, and said, Mill, I haven't been a little girl in a very long time. I don't know why you keep getting me confused with 4F niece. Mill, oh, well, you'll always be a little girl to me. It's just a term of endearment, sweetie. So unseals, eyes, exhales fog in my direction. Later on, she called me little girl again in front of So's entire family with a sweet smile. So I looked at So and said, you hear that, So? Sounds like your mum thinks you like little girls? Now this would probably be the part where you cue laughter, if it weren't for the fact that one of So's distant relatives had just gotten busted with child pornography. Is an extremely embarrassing situation for his image-conscious family. So, this comment did not take well. I was probably Tay in this situation, but Mill hasn't called me little girl since then, so I'm considering it a success. So and Mill are still salty about it though and insist that I owe the entire family an apology. Boyfriend, I also made this comment after the kids were in bed so nobody's innocence was harmed. I know two wrongs don't make a right, but I've been politely asking her to stop calling me that for ages. In addition to other things, the shit was liberating and nobody's getting an apology until I get mine.
Be gone! Has anybody told you why? Have you any idea why?
Mother-in-law finds out that after my operation I asked for birth control.
Are you mad, bro? Tell me what you're mad for.
Little backstory. A week ago I had an operation, pregnancy outside the uterus. I am still on bed rest and the doctor advised an extra week. Okay, so, after my operation I was alone in the room and the doctor came to me to ask if I wanted birth control and if yes, what kind of birth control. So I asked for a little iron thing in my arm. Since I already used the pill and I got pregnant through it and the rest gave me pain, so this was the last option. So yesterday I got a shitstorm over me, because she found out. Not through So or me, but through my mother. She's bad at keeping secrets. It went a little like this. Mill, why would you do stupid stuff like this? You know what my spiritual guide told me. You are going to get twins soon. Why would you do this to me and my son? Me? Your son told me to accept it if they asked me. Want me to get another operation? And then they have to take away everything. Is that what you want? And you know that So and I do not want to have children. When it happens, but we do not want them. And I honestly do not care what your guide told you. It's all bullshit anyways, but hey, you believe what you want to believe and I believe what I want. Mill, my son would never do that. He knows I want grandchildren. And me, but does your son want children? Did you ever ask him? You have a daughter who you can ask if she wants children. Your son doesn't want to have children. Accept that. Mill, you are getting old. You need to have children before you are 30. You have just 6 years left. I know my son wants children. I want to be a grandmother. He would do that for me. Me? Oh, does he now? So can you come downstairs, please? So comes downstairs. So, what's wrong? Me? Do you want children? So, no, you know this. Why ask again? Me turning back to Mill. What did I told you? Mill didn't say anything after that and just walked away. Why would you even say something like that? Get mad over something like this? Come on. It's birth control, rather keeping myself safe from another operation than getting one again. And what if we do not want children? It's our choice and I'm not an incubator. But thank God, one more week and So and I are living with my father till we have the money to rent a house.
Are you mad, bro? Tell me what you're mad for.
Did he tell you why?
My baby offensive.
Catch me outside, how about that?
My Mill starts to act funny when I refer to my son as my baby. I am not doing it in a vindictive way, it's just the way I talk to him. My baby, my love, my treasure, etc. When DH does it, it seems she is not fazed. But when I do it, I will shortly after see some passive-aggressive posts on social media about how my son is our little guy or our little man. Childish, no. I mean, if they like it or not, I carried this child and birthed him out of my vagina. He is my baby. Seems like it makes her feel insecure or something. Mill has exhibited some strange behavior since my son was born last year. She still calls DH her baby, which I mean he is a grown-ass man, but still it is indeed factual. So I don't get. Really weird.